In this video, we're going to show you how to tile your bathroom floor. It's much easier than it looks, so keep watching for a step-by-step guide. For a full list of tools and materials used in this video, check out the description below. For jobs like this, it's important to remember to wear PPE, such as gloves and eye protection. Now first, you'll need to lay tile backing boards and fix them onto the floor. New changes to British standards do not allow tiles to be installed directly onto plywood, and these boards provide a safer, water-resistant and more stable alternative. Apply adhesive to the joint and press the board into place. Then use a drill to secure it to the floor with screws and washers. Now once your boards are all down, give the floor a good clean, ready to be primed. This is a really important step, as if you don't prime your floor, the adhesive could seep into the boards and give you a weaker bond. Prepare your primer in a bucket, mixing it with water. You should be able to find the ideal water to product ratio on the packaging. Now brush the primer onto the backing boards, making sure to cover the entire area, and leave to dry for around an hour. Then once it's dried, measure the floor space and you can start dry fitting your tiles. Dry lay a row of tiles without sticking them to the floor, measuring any gaps that you'll eventually need to fill with cut pieces. Make sure to account for the small gaps between the tiles that you'll be filling with grout. Little tip, keep the uncut tiles centered in both directions so the design is symmetrical. Just like with the primer, you'll need to check the manufacturer's instructions for the ideal water to product ratio. Then mix the adhesive with water until you get a consistency that looks a little bit like this. It's a good idea to wash the paddle with a bucket of clean water after mixing, so it's ready for next time and easier to store away without any mess. Apply the adhesive to the floor using the notched side of the spreader. The best way to do this is in straight uniform lines to avoid creating air bubbles. Then you'll need to back butter the tile, which just means using the straight side of the spreader to cover the surface in adhesive. Apply a smooth layer and scrape away any excess back into the bucket. Place the tile and push down on all sides. Then wipe the area clean with a damp sponge to get rid of any adhesive that might have come up through the gap. Next, you'll need to insert spaces between the tiles to make sure every gap is even. It's a good idea to place them close to the corners so you don't get any wonky angles. Now before you cut your tiles, thoroughly measure the spaces that need to be filled, accounting for the gaps between the tiles, and mark these measurements onto the tiles. Then use a tile cutter to trim your tiles to size. Remember this simple rule: measure twice, cut once. Cut around obstacles as you go. You may need to trim the bottom of your door frame so you can slot your tiles underneath it. All you'll need to do in this case is to mark the frame and use a multi-tool to remove a section at the bottom. Then you can continue the same process until all your tiles are laid. Check the manufacturer's instructions to find out how long your adhesive will need to dry, and when it's fully set, remove any leftover spaces and give the floor a quick sweep before you start grouting. Mix your grout with clean water according to the instructions on the bag. You'll need to use the whole bag at once, so make sure you've got a bucket big enough. Then mix with a drill and whisk until you get the perfect consistency. It should be thick enough to hold its shape on the trowel, but still malleable enough to fill the grooves between your tiles. Now place your grout over the joints and gently work it into the gaps with the grout float, making sure it's flush with the tiles. Wait for the grout to set and use a damp sponge and water to remove any excess from the tiles. Be careful not to apply too much pressure at this stage so you don't pull any grout out of the floor. When buffing the floor with paper towels, it's also a good idea to wipe across the joints rather than up and down them for the same reason. At this stage, sealant may be required for certain tiles. And there you go, your new bathroom floor is all finished.